Hello gamers, devs and dog lovers. Apparently you are my niche. Anyway, in today's video I'm going to introduce you to a new game project I've started. If you've been watching my previous videos, you will be familiar with the pixel art Pirate Melee game, which has been the focus of all my videos so far. It was my first ever game. I'm a self-proclaimed noob, and lately I've got pretty stuck with that game. It's been a busy time. My daughter is half a year old now. Woo! My goal is to keep learning and expand my knowledge of Unity, C#, and game development in general in the most efficient way that I can. So I think it's important I experiment with lots of different things, different platforms, different input types, different styles, genres, mechanics. So to get myself out of my pirate rut, I've begun working on something new, something fun, and I hope something a little simpler that I can finish quickly and share with you. My working title is Sketchy Fishing. In a nutshell, it's a 2D physics-based fishing game with a hand-drawn, sketchy art style. So in this video, I'm going to show you where I'm at with that. Before we move on, if I can ask you all a quick favor, please hit the like button to show your support and help this video reach more people. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. So far, I've drawn a few basic assets: a fish hook, a rope, a fish, and a worm. I started out by creating a simple rope object, which is basically a whole bunch of small rope segments connected together with hinge joints. The player can move this rod object here, which is just a simple cube, because it won't be seen in the game view. But it makes for some tricky and interesting player control due to the delay for the hook to respond to your input. I've written a short script so that this cube follows your mouse along the x-axis. This is a new sort of input for me. I've never really worked with mouse input. That's how new I am to all this. These white rectangles on the sides are physics-based boundaries, basically walls that prevent you from moving the cube too far. And this green rectangle is how I'm implementing a reel in and reel out function. You can use the scroll wheel to move this up and down, lifting and lowering the hook. To simulate the feeling of being underwater, I've played around with the drag settings on the rigid bodies. I'm having an issue here, and if anyone knows an easy solution, please leave a comment. The problem is when I move the cube too fast, the hinge joints seem to pull apart. See here at the top how the rope segments have gaps. I think that this is due to the force of the cube not being held back enough by the drag of the fish hook. I just can't figure out how to get the responsiveness I want without this visual issue of the rope splitting apart. I guess one solution might be to have sprites that stretch somehow so that there are no gaps, because I think essentially that's what's happening here. This chain of objects are basically stretching at the hinge joints. Yeah, anyway. The other thing I've done so far is write some basic code to have this fish bite at the hook when it gets close enough. My plans for this is to have a short window of opportunity where the player can pull on the line to catch the fish before the fish steals the bait. I've got another idea for gameplay, which I'm going to experiment with both. I'm not sure what's more fun. So basically my other idea is to actually be guiding the worm to avoid fish for as long as you can. I'm kind of liking that, and then I've sort of got this idea about the worm's buddies have taken over the fishermen above water, and they're sort of controlling the fish hook, trying to save their fish friend. Anyway, and last but definitely not least, I've given the worm some physics-based googly eyes. Each pupil in the eye is its own object, and it's contained in a circular edge collider so it can bounce around inside the eye. I've been trying to write some code to pull the pupils towards the fish, kind of like a magnetic effect, so it's watching the fish as it approaches. Anyway, all things to tackle. No pun intended, I promise. And I'll update you all on this in my next video.